While there were quite a few European players that failed in the NBA, some didn't even get a chance to play there despite being drafted pretty high.
Disappointed!
Let's take a look at 8 European players who never played in the NBA and were drafted the highest. Also hit that subscribe button and stick around until the end of the video to find out which lottery pick from Europe left Orlando Magic with nothing. Let's start with the 34th pick in the 2003 NBA draft. The Los Angeles Clippers picked Sofoklis Kortsenidis from Greece in one of the best draft classes ever. The dude was a massive human being even for a basketball player. And Baby Shaq was a bully on the court, just not on the NBA one, because the Greek didn't play a single second in an official NBA season game. But he was toying with star players even without NBA experience, eliminating the US from the 2006 World Cup semifinals.
Up ahead to big man Kortsenidis for the dunk! And just like that,
and throwing Shaq into the stands at a friendly Olympiacos Cavs game in 2009.
Then it's the real Shaq. This isn't Baby Shaq. That's the full Monty flying at you right there. Shaquille O'Neal into the crowd, over the cameraman.
Well, I guess you don't get the nickname Baby Shaq for nothing.
When I played against him, Josh Childers, he was messing with me because the minute I got the ball in the post, yeah, Sofo, show him who's the baby now. I was like, oh man, don't say that.
So how come the guy never played a second in the league? Well, let's call it quite a mystery. After his performance in the 2006 World Cup, there were negotiations between him and the Clippers, but Sofo still had a contract with Olympiacos and said he couldn't get out. In 2010, he joined the Clippers Summer League team, and there was a feeling around the basketball world that the Greek giant would finally come to the NBA. However, his 4 games in Las Vegas weren't that exciting. Sofo averaged 13 minutes on the floor and 2.5 points per game. And then we don't really know what happened. Contradicting rumors started circulating in the media, suggesting that the Clippers offered Big Sofo a 3-year deal, or that he got a better offer from Panathinaikos in Greece, or that the Clippers missed the meeting with Sofoklis and his agent. The fact is, after the summer league, Sofo signed with Tel Aviv Maccabi and went on to play another 5 years in the EuroLeague, even becoming a champion in 2014. And he never looked back. Well, at least that's what he says. If I was in the United States for a career, I wouldn't have met my beautiful wife or have my kids. So it all worked out, he said in 2021. Another early second-round pick who never stepped on the court in the NBA is Spanish legend Sergio Llull.
5 segundos, Sergio Rodríguez, balón abierto, ¡Llull! Sergio Llull!
He was also selected as the 34th pick in the 2009 NBA draft by the Denver Nuggets. The Houston Rockets then bought his draft rights from the Nuggets for more than $2 million, which at the time made him the most expensive player ever to be purchased during the draft's second round. The Spaniard is 35 now, and unless you're named Pablo Prigioni, it's pretty safe to say your NBA career won't start at this age. And it's not like the NBA didn't want him. Llull was constantly praised by the people in the league. In 2020, Rockets director of global scouting, Marko Radovanovic, admitted they'd been trying to get him to come to Houston for almost a decade. And Luka Doncic had this to say about his former teammate in Real Madrid.
He has the level. I think he's the best player out of the NBA.
Llull's agent revealed that the Rockets never stopped trying to make Llull join the team.
It is so good to see you. What are you doing for dinner?
Something else.
In 2015, the Spanish media reported that the Rockets were willing to offer Llull a 3-year, $17 million deal. The EuroLeague legend still said no. He had a pretty simple reason for it. I've explained many times that I'm happy here with Real Madrid. I want to stay here and keep winning, he said in 2018. And to be fair, he has been winning 3 EuroLeague titles and an MVP, along with plenty of other accolades, seem like a good reason to stay in Europe. It looks like the Rockets finally gave up on the Spanish player. In 2020, his draft rights were traded to the New York Knicks. Petteri Koponen, one of the best Finnish basketball players ever, was selected 30th overall in the first round in 2007 by the Philadelphia 76ers, who then traded Koponen to the Portland Trail Blazers. The European played for Portland in the Summer League for 2 years in a row. In 2007, he didn't stand out, but a year later, Koponen averaged 31 minutes and 13 points a game. These stats, however, didn't help him land a contract, so he kept playing in Europe.
Bayern with a chance to win it. Koponen in space. If it goes, Petteri Koponen to win it.
But unlike Juj, Koponen has stated that playing in the NBA was his dream. By 2011, the Finn got angry that he was still not in the league. Koponen blamed the Blazers for holding him hostage by not signing a contract and not letting other teams do it. He felt that Portland only hung on to him so that their rivals could not recruit the player. In 2011, the Blazers traded Koponen's rights to the Dallas Mavericks, and a few years later, Mark Stein, who was with ESPN back then, announced that Koponen was ready to make his debut with the Mavericks in 2015-2016 season. But it never happened. Then in 2018, NBA insider Keith Smith wrote that Koponen and the Mavericks agreed not to sign a contract, so the NBA allowed Dallas to remove the cap hold for Koponen due to this agreement. This was the 6th time Dallas and Koponen underwent this process. Koponen retired 4 years later without any NBA experience, and it's still unclear why he never reached a deal with the Mavericks. A 7-free Dutch basketball player, Serge Zwicker, was also selected as the 30th pick in the '97 draft by the Houston Rockets. Technically, he was in the NBA. He just didn't play. He spent an entire season sitting on the Rockets bench, and when the '98 NBA lockout came, Zwicker moved to Europe, signing with Tau Keramika Vitoria. And there's really not much more to tell. His back problems prevented him from having a decent career, and the year 2000 was the last time he played professional basketball. It seems that the closest NBA experience he had was in the NCAA when Darvin Ham, then a Texas Tech forward and now the Lakers coach, shattered the backboard right in front of Zwicker. It's sad to see basketball prospects not living up to expectations, but the Dutchman found success in the IT business. And he might have tried to become a streamer, but that pretty much turned out like his NBA career. 1 subscriber and 70 views. Livio Jean-Charles is another player who really wanted to play in the NBA but just wasn't good enough. The San Antonio Spurs drafted him in 2013 as the 28th pick. Before the draft at the Nike Hoop Summit, the Frenchman believed his actions on the court should do the talking about his game.
I want to show people what I can do on the court.
And he actually did, by becoming the MVP of the Nike Hoop Summit. But the Frenchman was a draft and stash who returned to play in France for a few seasons. In 2016, Jean-Charles signed with San Antonio only for the club to do him dirty. He played in 5 preseason games and was waived by the Spurs just before the start of the season. He then played for the Austin Spurs in the G League and aimed to make a jump to the NBA. When life gives you lemons, make lemonade, the player said in an interview in 2017. But Jean-Charles is still looking to make that lemonade. As for now, the Spurs are still not interested in signing their first-round pick. The 29-year-old is still relatively young and now plays for CSKA in Russia. If I had to guess, I would say his NBA dream is over. Serbian basketball star Nikola Milutinov seems like another wasted draft pick by the San Antonio Spurs. The club selected Milutinov 26 overall and did nothing over the years to bring one of the best EuroLeague players to the league, although after the draft it was believed otherwise.
Good long-term pick. Again, we'll see him in a couple years.
In 2020, Milutinov explained why he's still not in the NBA, and the answer was pretty straightforward.
To go there, I need to be in white to go there. I never had something official from them. They were never so serious in taking me. I cannot go there just, by myself. They need to show their will to bring me there, and they didn't.
In 2021, Milutinov's draft rights were included in a trade deal and were sent to the Brooklyn Nets. The Serbian is still playing in Europe for Olympiacos, but But there's a twist about this trade. Nets GM Sean Marks was the Spurs assistant GM in charge of the draft when Milutinov was drafted. Will Marks try to rectify a mistake made by his old team? It's a cliche, but I guess only time will tell. If you are European, you probably know Frédéric Weiss as a longtime France national team player. But if you're American, you probably know him just as the dunk of the deaf victim.
Et plus on en parlait, plus c'était un peu dur émotionnellement. Mais là, c'est vrai que plus j'y pense et plus j'y réfléchis, plus c'est compliqué pour moi.
But the 7-2 former center also became a victim of a series of misunderstandings, which led him not to play in the NBA. The big man from France was selected as the 15th pick in the 1999 NBA draft by the New York Knicks. He played in the Summer League, but the story he tells of why he didn't sign a contract is comical and sad at the same time. In an interview with Basket News in 2021, Weiss explained that at the time his agent had to go to jail, and his other American agent's wife just passed away. The Frenchman claims he didn't know what passed away means and told the agent that it doesn't matter and that he should call Weiss anytime. Weiss says the agent never called, and that's why the big man didn't go to the NBA. Believe it or not, it's entirely up to you, but this other story is as complicated. The next season, the New York Knicks were waiting for the player to come train with the Summer League team, but Weiss just went missing and never came. Knicks coach at the time, Jeff Van Gundy, was angry, saying that he's not thinking about Weiss and that the player's stats in the French league aren't overwhelming. The New York Post even labeled the center French toast. But Weiss tells another story. He claims he just never got the call from the Knicks to come to the training camp. Anyway, not playing in the NBA was the least of his problems. Weiss admitted that in 2008 he attempted suicide. Luckily now he set all his problems aside and is a proud owner of a tobacco shop. The 2005 NBA draft was quite a disastrous one for the Orlando Magic. They completely wasted their lottery pick by selecting 6'10" Fran Vasquez from Spain at the 11th spot, and the Spaniard never set foot on the NBA floor. Since the NBA and ABA merger in 1976, Vasquez is one of only 2 lottery picks who never played a single second in the NBA. The other one is Len Bias. Legend has it the reason why Vasquez never came to Orlando was his fear and his girlfriend. Vasquez wasn't scared of dunking in front of NBA champions when Barcelona and the Lakers played an exhibition game in 2010.
Oh, nice. Oh! How about that pass?
But apparently he was scared to come to the US. In 2020, George Diaz, a former Orlando Sentinel sports writer who traveled to Spain to interview Vasquez a few months after the 2005 draft, called the Spaniard a European country bumpkin who was intimidated by America. Vasquez's girlfriend, who later became his wife, was very influential in his life and together with his agent persuaded the player to stay in Europe. Vasquez's girlfriend came to New York with the Spaniard for the NBA draft and she didn't like it in the States. Manhattan shocked us quite a bit. Everybody was running down the streets and we were just looking at them wide-eyed, she said back in 2005. Weeks after the draft, Vasquez kept telling the Magic he would eventually sign with them, but wanted to stay in Spain for a year or 2 more to improve his game before jumping to the NBA. A few years later, even Dwight Howard asked Vasquez to come to Orlando, promising him the world.
Friend, if you're out there watching, we've been waiting for 3 long years for you to come play with us. When are you gonna come?
In 2012, a month before Howard's trade to the Lakers, it was reported that the European might finally join the Magic. But again, nothing, and the saga ended in 2020 when Vasquez retired from basketball. Which of these players do you think could have had a successful NBA career? Let us know in the comments, make sure to like the video and subscribe for more. See you in the next one.